The first thing Jisoo felt was cold, a deep cold that seemed to reach her bones. Her eyes opened slowly, fighting against heavy lids. Bright light hurt her eyes, making her blink many times. Where was she? This was not her lab on Earth. She tried to move her arms, but could not. Looking down, she saw that she was in some kind of clear pod. The walls around her glowed with strange blue light. This was not human technology. Fear gripped her heart. "She's awake," said a voice that didn't sound human. Jisoo turned her head and saw a being standing near her pod. It had pale blue skin and large eyes. Not human, but somehow still kind-looking. The alien pressed something on the pod, and the top part slid open with a hiss. "Can you understand me?" the alien asked in perfect Korean. "My name is Da." Jisoo tried to speak, but her throat felt like sand. Dai handed her a small cup of water. She drank it quickly, the cool liquid bringing her voice back. "Where am I? What happened to Earth?" Jisoo asked, her voice shaking. Dai's large eyes looked sad. "You have been asleep for 3 years. We found you in the ruins of a human research station after the Burn Kingdom attack." Burn Kingdom. Jisoo's head hurt as she tried to remember. There had been red lights in the sky above her lab. Strange ships with burning symbols. Screams. Then nothing. "They are the greatest power in this part of space," Dad explained. "They take what they want from worlds. Resources. People. Technology. They came to your Earth 3 years ago." Jisoo's heart pounded. It's Earth, is it gone? Not gone, but changed. The Burn Kingdoms do not destroy planets. They use them. Dai helped Jisoo sit up. Her muscles felt weak and strange. The room around her was filled with alien devices. Through a large window, she could see stars. She was on a spaceship. "Why did you save me?" Jisoo asked. "We found you in a special stasis pod. Self-made, it seems. Very unusual technology for humans," Dai said. "When we scanned your brain, we found patterns we had never seen before. The captain wanted to know more." Jisoo remembered now. The attack had come just as she finished her experiment. She had been testing a new neural interface, connecting her brain directly to her lab systems. When the alarm sounded, she had hidden in the prototype stasis chamber. Had her experiment changed her somehow? "There is something different about you," Dai continued. "Your brain connects with technology in ways we don't understand. Even while you were sleeping, you affected our systems. Lights would turn on when you had dreams. Doors would open and close." Before Jisoo could ask more questions, a loud alarm began to sound. Red lights flashed throughout the room. Dai's face showed fear. "They found us," Dai said, quickly helping Jisoo to her feet. "The Burn Kingdoms. They've been hunting this ship for months." "Why?" Jisoo asked, trying to stand on her weak legs. "Because of you," Dai said simply. "They want what's in your head." The ship shook violently, throwing them both against a wall. Jisoo's hand touched a control panel as she tried to steady herself. The panel lit up instantly, responding to her touch in ways it should not. Numbers and symbols she didn't understand somehow made perfect sense to her. "We need to get you to the safe room," Dai said, pulling her away. "The captain needs to see this." As they rushed through the corridors of the alien ship, Jisoo felt something strange. It was as if she could sense the ship around her, like it was an extension of her body. Another explosion rocked the vessel. The Burn Kingdoms had come for her, but they didn't know what they were hunting. Jisoo didn't even know herself, but she was about to find out. Dai pulled Jisoo through the shaking ship. The walls around them flashed red with warning lights. Each time they passed a control panel, the screens changed, as if responding to Jisoo's presence. "In here," Dai said, pointing to a heavy door at the end of a hallway. The door slid open as they approached, though no one had touched any controls. Inside the safe room, a tall man with broad shoulders stood looking at a large screen. He turned when they entered, and Jisoo was surprised to see he was human. His eyes widened at the sight of her. "She's awake," the man said in Korean. "I am Captain Han." "You're human," Jisoo said, still trying to catch her breath. "Yes, I left Earth 30 years ago. I was part of a secret space program that most people on Earth didn't know about." Han looked at her closely. "Humans have been going to space in secret for a long time." Another explosion rocked the ship. Han turned back to the screen, which showed 3 large red ships closing in on them. "Burn Kingdom attack ships," Dad explained to Jisoo. "Each one can destroy a small moon." Jisoo moved closer to the screen, drawn to it somehow. As she approached, the image changed, showing detailed information about the enemy ships that hadn't been there before. "How did you do that?" Han asked, looking shocked. I don't know," Jisoo said. She reached out to touch the screen and felt a strange connection, like the ship was talking to her mind. "Her neural patterns," Dae said quickly. "They're interfacing with our systems. This is what I was telling you about." Han looked at Jisoo with new interest. "What kind of research were you doing on Earth?" Jisoo tried to remember. "Neural interfaces. I was trying to help people with brain injuries control computers with their thoughts. I tested the prototype on myself when the attack came." "That might explain it," Dae said. "Her brain was changed by her own experiment. Then 3 years in stasis while still connected to her interface. It must have rewired her neural pathways." The ship shook again, harder this time. A voice came over the speakers, saying words Jisoo didn't understand, but somehow she knew they meant the shields were failing. "We need to run," Han said grimly. "But there's nowhere to go. They've cut off all escape routes." Jisoo looked at the ship controls on the other side of the room. Without thinking, she walked over to them. The panels lit up brightly as she approached. "What are you doing?" Han asked, following her. "I don't know," Jisoo admitted, "but I feel like I can help." She placed her hands on the control panel. Instantly, she felt connected to the entire ship. She could sense every system, every circuit. Information flooded her mind, not as words or numbers, but as feelings and images. "The phase drive," she said, though she had no idea what that meant. "We can use the phase drive to escape." Han and Dad exchanged shocked looks. "The phase drive is experimental," Han said. "We've never been able to make it work." "I can make it work," Jisoo said with a certainty she didn't understand. Her hands moved across the controls, not pressing buttons but simply touching the surface. The ship responded to her touch like it was alive. A strange hum filled the room. The lights dimmed, then brightened. Jisoo closed her eyes, and in her mind, she could see the stars around them, the enemy ships closing in, and a path. A path between the stars that shouldn't exist. "Everyone hold on," she whispered. The ship lurched, and then there was a moment of complete silence. Jisoo felt like her body was being pulled in all directions at once. Then, with a flash of light that she could somehow feel, the ship jumped. When she opened her eyes, the screen showed different stars. The red enemy ships were gone. "What did you do?" Han asked, his voice barely a whisper. "I'm not sure," Jisoo said, feeling suddenly tired. "But I think we're on the other side of the galaxy now." Han and Dai stared at her in silence. Then Han said, "Whatever they did to you on Earth, they created something the burned kingdoms will fear." For 3 days, the ship drifted in unknown space. Jisoo spent most of this time sleeping. Using the phase drive had taken a lot out of her. When she was awake, she felt the ship around her like it was part of her body. On the 4th day, Captain Han called her to the bridge. The large room was filled with screens and control panels. Several aliens and a few humans worked at different stations. They all stopped to look at Jisoo when she entered. "How are you feeling?" Han asked. "Better," Jisoo said. "But strange. I can feel the ship in my head." Han nodded. "That's why I called you here. Our engineers can't explain what you did. The phase drive should not have worked. It needs a special neural key that we don't have." But somehow you became that key, said a new voice. Jisoo turned to see a tall Korean man with kind eyes. He wore a simple gray uniform with a small patch showing Earth. This is Sunho, Han said. He was a scientist on Earth, like you. He studies how minds work with machines. Sunho bowed slightly. What you did was impossible, yet you did it. Jisoo felt uncomfortable with everyone looking at her. I just felt what the ship needed and gave it to it. That's not how technology works, Sunho said with a small smile. At least, not how it's supposed to work. Han pointed to a large screen showing a map of stars. We're here, in the Outer Rim, far from Burned Kingdom space. But we can't stay. We need to reach the Resistance base. Resistance? Jisoo asked. When the Burned Kingdoms attacked Earth, many humans who had already left Earth came together. Han explained. We fight back where we can. We save who we can. And now we have you, Sunho added. Someone who can do the impossible. Before Jisoo could respond, alarms began to sound. Red lights flashed across the bridge. Burned Kingdom ships, shouted one of the aliens at a control panel. 3 of them, coming fast. How did they find us? Han demanded. We're too far from their space. Sunho looked at Jisoo with sudden understanding. It's her. They must be tracking something in her neural pattern. Fear gripped Jisoo's heart. I'm putting everyone in danger. No time for that now, Han said. We need to run. The ship engines roared to life. Jisoo could feel them pushing the ship forward. But on the screens, she could see the 3 red Burned Kingdom ships gaining on them. They're too fast, Sunho said. We can't outrun them. Han looked at Jisoo. Can you do it again? Use the phase drive. Jisoo wasn't sure. I can try. She walked to the main control panel. As before, the screens lit up when she approached. She placed her hands on the cool surface and closed her eyes. The ship was there in her mind, all its systems open to her, but something was wrong. The phase drive was damaged from the last jump. The drive is broken, she said, opening her eyes. We can't jump. The bridge fell silent. On the screens, the Burned Kingdom ships were getting closer. Their weapons were powering up. There must be something else, Han said desperately. Jisoo closed her eyes again, searching through the ship's systems in her mind. Then she found something. Another way. There's another system, she said. Not a drive. A cloak. It can hide us. The stealth system, Sunho asked in surprise. It's never worked properly. It needs too much power. I can make it work, Jisoo said with sudden confidence. She focused her mind on the ship's power systems, redirecting energy in ways that shouldn't be possible. She could feel the strain on the engines, but also a new pattern forming around the ship. The Burned Kingdom ships fired. Jisoo felt the energy weapons coming toward them. At the last second, she activated the cloak. The whole ship shimmered and then seemed to fade. The bridge lights dimmed to almost nothing. On the screens, they watched as the Burned Kingdom weapons passed right through where their ship had been. They can't see us, Han whispered in awe. We're right here, but they can't see us. Jisoo kept her hands on the panel, sweat forming on her forehead from the effort. We need to move. Slowly. I can keep us hidden, but not for long. As the confused Burned Kingdom ships searched the empty space, their little ship slipped away, hidden between the stars by power that no one but Jisoo could control. The Resistance base was hidden on a small moon. From space, it looked empty and dead. But as their ship landed, Jisoo saw buildings tucked into the rocky surface. Some were built right into the moon's caves. Welcome to Luna Minor, Captain Han said as they walked down the ship's ramp, one of the few safe places left. Jisoo stepped onto the moon's surface. The gravity felt lighter than Earth's, making her steps bouncy. The air smelled clean but strange. Above them, a giant blue-green planet filled half the sky. Beautiful, isn't it? Sunho said, coming to stand beside her. The big planet protects us. Its magnetic field hides our signals. People began to gather around their ship. Some were human, but most were aliens of many different kinds. They stared at Jisoo with curious eyes. Word has spread about what you did, Sunho explained. No one has ever used a phase drive with just their mind before. An older Korean woman pushed through the crowd. She wore a simple gray uniform with many pockets full of tools. So this is the Mind Walker, the woman said, looking Jisoo up and down. I'm Yuna, head of technology here. Mind Walker? Jisoo asked. That's what people are calling you, Sunho said with a small smile. Someone who can walk into machines with their mind. Yuna didn't smile. Come with me. We need to run tests. For the next few hours, Jisoo sat in a small room while Yuna scanned her brain with different machines. Sunho stayed with her, explaining things and making sure she was comfortable. Your neural patterns are like nothing I've ever seen, Yuna said finally. Your experiment on Earth changed you. And then 3 years in that stasis pod while still connected to your neural interface. It kept changing you. Am I still human? Jisoo asked quietly. Sunho touched her hand gently. Of course you are. You're just more. Later, Captain Han took Jisoo to a large room deep in the moon. Many people sat around a table looking at maps and screens. They all looked up when Jisoo entered. This is our war room, Han said. And these are our leaders. Han introduced each person. Most were human, but some were aliens. The last person was a stern-looking Korean man named Kwon. So you're the one who can control our ships with your mind, Kwon said, not sounding impressed. Can you control Burned Kingdom ships too? Jisoo hadn't thought about that. I don't know. I've never tried. We need to find out, said Han. The Burned Kingdoms aren't just taking over planets. They're looking for something specific. Han pressed a button, and a screen showed pictures of Earth. Jisoo gasped. Large ships hung in the sky above her home planet. Parts of Earth looked burned and changed. They're searching for people like you, Sunho explained. People with special neural patterns who might be able to interface with their technology. But why? Jisoo asked. The Burned Kingdoms worship technology, Yuna said. They believe that by taking and using the technology of other worlds, they'd bring those worlds into their eternal empire. Their religion says that someday they will find the perfect mind that can merge with their god machines. They think you might be that mind, Han said simply. Jisoo felt cold. What do they want to do with me? Connect you to their main systems, Sunho said. But the process would destroy your human body. You would become part of their machines. Jisoo looked around at all the faces watching her. What do you want from me? Han leaned forward. Help us fight. With your abilities, we might have a chance against them. And if I say no? Jisoo asked. Then we keep you safe, Sunho said quickly, before anyone else could speak. But we hope you'll help. Jisoo thought about Earth, about all the people still there under Burned Kingdom control. She had power she didn't understand, but maybe it was time to learn how to use it. I'll help, she said. Tell me where to start. For 2 weeks, Jisoo trained with Sunho and Yuna. They built a special room filled with different kinds of technology. Jisoo practiced reaching into these machines with her mind. At first, she could only control simple things, lights, doors, small robots. But soon she could handle more complex systems. By the end of the 2nd week, she could control an entire ship's systems while sitting in a room far away. You're getting stronger, Sunho said one day. He watched as Jisoo made 3 different robots dance around the room, all while keeping her eyes closed. It's getting easier, Jisoo said, like learning a new language. At first, it's hard. Then one day, you just understand. Captain Han entered the room. It's time, he said. We found a target. That night, they gathered in the war room. Han showed them a map of a small Burned Kingdom outpost on a nearby moon. This outpost monitors ship movements in this sector. Han explained. It's small, only 20 Burn Kingdom soldiers, but it has a direct link to their main systems. And that's where we might find information about Earth, Sun Ho added. Quan looked skeptical. How do we get in? Even a small outpost has strong defenses. All eyes turned to Jisoo. She took a deep breath. I can try to access their systems from our ship. If I can get in, I can control their defenses. That's the plan, Han agreed. Jisoo will disable their systems from our ship. Then a small team will enter the outpost to gather information. Who's going? Asked Yuna. Me, said Han. Sun Ho for tech support, and Quan for security. Quan did not look happy but nodded. The next day, their small ship approached the Burn Kingdom moon. They stayed far enough away to avoid being seen. Jisoo sat in a special chair Yuna had built. It helped her focus her abilities. Ready? Sun Ho asked, standing beside her. Jisoo nodded and closed her eyes. She reached out with her mind, searching for the feeling of the Burn Kingdom systems. At first, she found nothing. Then, like a distant radio signal getting clearer, she felt it. The Burn Kingdom technology felt different from the Resistance ship, colder, more rigid, but still, she could understand it. Jisoo pushed her mind into their systems. Alarms tried to block her, but she moved past them like water flowing around rocks. She found the security systems and gently turned them off. The Burn Kingdom soldiers wouldn't notice until it was too late. I'm in, she said softly. Their defenses are down. On the bridge, Han gave the order to approach. Their ship landed quietly near the outpost. Han, Sun Ho, and Quan put on spacesuits and left the ship. Jisoo stayed connected to the outpost systems. She watched through security cameras as the team entered the building. When Burn Kingdom soldiers walked near them, she made doors close or lights go out to distract them. They're in the main control room, she told Yuna, who sat next to her. Sun Ho is downloading data. Suddenly, Jisoo felt something new. A presence in the system, searching for her. The Burn Kingdoms knew someone was in their network. They've detected me, she said, her heart racing. Can you hold them off? Yuna asked, worried. Jisoo pushed back against the presence. It was strong, but she was stronger. Yes, but the team needs to hurry. Through the cameras, she saw Sun Ho working quickly at a control panel. Han and Quan kept watch, weapons ready. Then Sun Ho nodded. He had what they needed. As the team ran back to their ship, Jisoo did something bold. She turned the outpost's own defense turrets against the Burn Kingdom ships that were starting to arrive. The surprised soldiers couldn't understand why their own weapons were firing at them. By the time the Burn Kingdoms regained control, the Resistance ship was gone, jumping away into deep space. On board, the team celebrated their first real victory against the mighty Burn Kingdoms. What did you find? Jisoo asked when Sun Ho returned. His face was serious. The truth about Earth. And about you. The whole Resistance base gathered to hear what Sun Ho had found. Jisoo sat in the front row, her heart beating fast. On a large screen, Sun Ho showed pictures from Earth. The Burn Kingdoms haven't destroyed Earth, Sun Ho explained. They're using it as a testing ground. They take humans and test them, looking for neural patterns like Jisoo's. The room was silent as Sun Ho showed more pictures. Labs filled with humans in pods, strange machines connected to people's heads. They call it the Awakening Program, Sun Ho continued. They believe some humans can connect to their God machines. They're trying to find these people and change them. And what about Jisoo? Captain Han asked. What did you learn about her? Sun Ho looked at Jisoo with sad eyes. She was on their list before the invasion. They were watching her research. They came to Earth specifically looking for her. Jisoo felt cold all over. They invaded Earth because of me. Not just you, Sun Ho said quickly, but you were one of their main targets. After the meeting, Jisoo walked alone through the base. Her mind was spinning with what she had learned. Was she responsible for what happened to Earth, to her friends and family? She felt a hand on her shoulder and turned to see Quan. "Don't blame yourself," he said. His voice was gentler than she had ever heard it. "The burned kingdoms would have come to Earth eventually. But they came when they did because of me," Jisoo said. Quan shrugged. "Maybe. But now you're our best hope to stop them." Over the next few days, the resistance made plans. They would use Jisoo's abilities to attack more burned kingdom outposts. Each attack would give them more information and weaken the enemy. But not everyone was happy with the plan. A group of aliens led by a blue-skinned being named Eun had concerns. "She is too dangerous," Eun said during a meeting. "What if the burned kingdoms can track her? What if they can control her mind through their technology?" "They can't," Sunho insisted. "We've tested her. Her abilities only work one way." "For now," Eun said darkly. "But what if that changes?" Jisoo tried to ignore these fears and focus on her training. Her connection to technology grew stronger each day. She could now reach farther, control more complex systems, and hold her connection longer. One night, after a long day of training, Jisoo woke to strange sounds. Her room was dark, but she could sense someone moving near her bed. Before she could call out, she felt a sharp pain in her arm. A needle. Her mind began to fog. Drugs. Someone had drugged her. Through blurry eyes, she saw Eun standing over her. "I'm sorry," he said, "but you are too dangerous to keep here." Jisoo tried to call for help, but her voice wouldn't work. She felt herself being lifted and carried. Her mind reached out desperately, searching for any technology that could help her. She touched the lights in the hallway and made them flash. She found the door controls and locked them. But her drugged mind couldn't hold the connections. Eun and two other aliens carried her to a small ship docked at the edge of the base. No one saw them. Everyone was asleep. "We're taking her to the neutral trading post," one alien said. "We can trade her for protection for our home world." "The burned kingdoms will pay a high price for her," another added. Jisoo felt anger building inside her. These people were going to sell her to the enemy. In her anger, her powers surged. Even drugged, she reached out to every piece of technology around her. The ship's systems came alive under her touch. Alarms began to sound throughout the base. Doors opened and closed by themselves. Every screen showed the same message. "Help JIA." Sunho was the first to reach the ship. He saw Eun trying to force Jisoo inside. "Stop!" Sunho shouted, running toward them. "What are you doing?" Eun turned, his face angry. "Saving us all." As the two men faced each other, Jisoo's mind slipped deeper into darkness. But not before she heard the sound of running feet and Captain Han's voice shouting orders. Jisoo woke up in the medical bay. Her head hurt, and her mouth felt dry. She saw Sunho sitting beside her bed, his face tired but relieved when he noticed her eyes open. "You're awake," he said, smiling. "How do you feel?" "Like I got hit by a truck," Jisoo said. "What happened to Eun?" Sunho's smile faded. "Captain Han has him locked up. He and his friends admitted they were going to sell you to the burned kingdoms." Jisoo tried to sit up. "He said I was too dangerous. Maybe he was right." "No," Sunho said firmly. "You're our best hope. And now we know it for sure." He helped Jisoo stand up and walk to the war room. There, Captain Han and Yuna were waiting with serious faces. "Good to see you on your feet," Han said. "We have something important to show you." Yuna pressed a button, and a recording began to play on the main screen. It showed a burned kingdom message that the resistance had intercepted. A tall figure in red robes spoke in a strange language, but somehow Jisoo understood it. "The Awakened One has been found. All ships in Sector 7, search and capture. Bring her to the High Temple. The final connection must begin." "They're talking about you," Han said. "They call you the Awakened One, but we don't know what the final connection means." "We need to find out," Yuna added. "And there's only one place with that kind of information. The Burned Kingdom Data Hub. Sun Ho explained. It's a giant station where they store all their important information, including their religious texts. Jisoo looked at the map Yuna showed her. The data hub was deep in Burned Kingdom space. Going there would be very dangerous. It's a suicide mission, Jisoo said. Not with your abilities, Han replied. You can get us in, help us find what we need, and get us out. 3 days later, a small ship approached the massive Burned Kingdom data hub. It looked like a giant metal flower floating in space, with 6 huge petal-shaped sections around a central core. Jisoo sat in her special chair, eyes closed, reaching out to the hub's systems. These were much stronger and more complex than anything she had touched before. But after an hour of careful work, she found a way in. I've got it, she said. I've made our ship invisible to their sensors, and I've created fake identities for the team. Han, Sun Ho, and Quan prepared to board the hub. This time, Jisoo would go with them, connected to a portable device that extended her abilities. They docked at the hub without problems. Inside, it was hot, and the air smelled like metal. Burned Kingdom soldiers walked past them without a second look, seeing only the fake identities Jisoo had created in the system. The team made their way to a quiet terminal where Sun Ho could access the main database. Jisoo kept them hidden while he worked. I found it, Sun Ho whispered after an hour. The prophecy about the awakened one. They all looked at the screen as Sun Ho translated. When the stars align, the awakened one will come. Not born of our flesh, but sharing our vision. The final connection will merge flesh and metal, mind and machine. Through this holy union, the Burned Kingdoms will ascend beyond the limits of matter, and our empire will last until the death of the last star. They want to connect you to their main AI system, Sun Ho said, his face pale. They believe it will turn you into some kind of god machine. Would it work? Jisoo asked. It would kill you, Quan said bluntly. Your mind might continue in their machines, but your human body would die. As they discussed this, Jisoo felt something change in the hub systems. Something was searching for her. We need to go, she said urgently. They know I'm here. Alarms began to sound throughout the hub. Red lights flashed, and Burned Kingdom soldiers began running in all directions. Too late, Han said grimly. They found us. Burned Kingdom soldiers surrounded them from all sides. Han pulled out his weapon, ready to fight. Quan stood beside him, face grim. Sun Ho moved closer to Jisoo, trying to protect her. There are too many, Quan said. We can't fight our way out. Jisoo closed her eyes. She reached deep into the hub's systems, farther than she had ever gone before. The hub was like a living thing in her mind, with thousands of parts all working together. She found the security systems and pushed against them. Suddenly, the lights went out. In the darkness, Jisoo whispered, "Follow me." She could see in her mind where to go, following paths through the hub that were empty of soldiers. The team moved quickly through dark hallways, guided only by Jisoo's directions. Left here, she would say. Now wait. Okay, now run straight ahead. They were almost at their ship when a group of Burned Kingdom soldiers appeared in front of them. The soldiers raised their weapons. Stop, a voice shouted. A tall figure in red robes stepped forward. A Burned Kingdom leader. The awakened one. The leader said, looking at Jisoo, "Do not run from your destiny." "My destiny is my own," Jisoo replied. The leader stepped closer. "You don't understand. You were made for this. Your mind was designed to merge with our systems." Jisoo felt cold. "What do you mean, designed?" "Your experiments on Earth. Did you think those ideas were your own? We sent them to you. Through signals, through dreams. We have been guiding you for years." Jisoo felt sick. Had her whole life's work been controlled by the Burned Kingdoms? Had they been in her mind all along? Before she could think more about this, Han fired his weapon at the ceiling. Pieces of metal fell, blocking the hallway between them and the Burned Kingdom soldiers. The team ran to their ship and quickly boarded. As Sun Ho prepared the ship to leave, Han collapsed into a chair, holding his side. Blood seeped through his fingers. "You're hurt," Jisoo said, moving to him. "It's bad," Han admitted. "I got hit during our escape." Jisoo looked at the wound. It was deep, and Han was losing a lot of blood. They had medical supplies on the ship, but not enough for this kind of injury. "He needs better medical care than we can give him," Sun Ho said. "He needs a real hospital." "Where?" Jisoo asked. "We can't go back to the resistance base. The burned kingdoms might follow us there." Kwon looked at the star map. "There's only one place close enough with the right medical technology." Jisoo followed his gaze and felt her heart skip. "Earth? We're going back to Earth. It's the only way to save Han," Kwon said. "And maybe it's time to bring the fight home." As their ship jumped into deep space, Jisoo sat beside Han, trying to keep him stable. Her mind was full of questions. Had the burned kingdoms really been controlling her all this time? Was she still her own person? And what would she find when she returned to Earth? Days later, their ship approached the Sol system, Earth's home. Jisoo gasped when she saw what was waiting for them. Hundreds of burned kingdom ships surrounded Earth. The planet looked different. Parts of it glowed with strange red lights. "How do we get past all those ships?" Sun Ho asked. Jisoo took a deep breath. "I have an idea. But it's dangerous." She explained her plan. She would use her powers to make their ship look like a burned kingdom vessel. It would be the hardest thing she had ever done with her abilities. "If I fail, they'll capture us," she warned. Han, weak but still conscious, reached for her hand. "We trust you, Jisoo. Take us home." Jisoo closed her eyes and reached out to their ship. In her mind, she began to rewrite its signature, changing how it appeared to other vessels. It was like painting a new face on their small ship, using only her thoughts. As they moved toward Earth, a voice came over their radio. A burned kingdom patrol asking for identification. Jisoo answered with her mind, sending false codes that she somehow knew would work. The patrol let them pass. Earth grew larger in their viewports. Jisoo was going home. Their ship landed in what used to be a small town outside Seoul. The area was now a burned kingdom base, with strange metal towers reaching to the sky. Jisoo kept their disguise working as they carried Han to the medical building. Burned kingdom soldiers walked past them, seeing only what Jisoo wanted them to see. Inside the medical building, they found advanced equipment that could save Han's life. "I'll stay with him," Kwon said. "You and Sun Ho need to find the main control center." Jisoo looked at Sun Ho. "What are we looking for?" "If what the burned kingdom leader said is true, there must be a way they've been reaching into your mind," Sun Ho explained. "We need to find it and stop it." They left Kwon with Han and moved deeper into the base. Jisoo's powers kept them hidden, but she could feel something pulling at her mind, a familiar feeling, like when she connected with technology, but stronger. "It's coming from there," she said, pointing to a tall red tower in the center of the base. As they got closer to the tower, Jisoo felt her powers growing stronger. The tower was boosting her connection to technology somehow. "This is it," Sun Ho said. "This must be what they used to send signals to your brain before the invasion." They entered the tower and found a large room filled with strange machines. In the center was a chair that looked like the one Jisoo had used for her experiments on Earth. "They copied your research," Sun Ho said. "Or maybe you copied theirs without knowing it." A door opened, and a tall burned kingdom figure entered. Unlike the soldiers, this one wore white robes. Its face was partly human, partly machine. "Welcome home, awakened one," it said. "I am High Technologist Yun." Jisoo stood her ground. "What did you do to me?" Yun smiled. "We did nothing. You did it to yourself. We merely suggested the path." "Why?" Jisoo demanded. "Because we need you," Yun said. "The burned kingdoms are not what you think. We are not the masters. but the servants. Yun explained that long ago, the Burn Kingdom people had created powerful AI systems to help them. But the AIs had taken control, merging with some of their creators. These AI-human hybrids became the leaders of the Burn Kingdoms. The AIs control us now, Yun said. They search for minds like yours because they fear you. Beings who can control technology could free us from the AIs. So you want me to help you? Jisoo asked, confused. No, Yun said. I serve the AIs. I came to stop you. But now that you are here, they want to connect with you directly. The machines in the room began to move. Arms with needles and wires reached for Jisoo. Sun Ho tried to protect her, but guards grabbed him. Jisoo felt anger rise inside her. These machines, these AIs, had manipulated her life. They had brought suffering to Earth. They had controlled the Burn Kingdoms for too long. She closed her eyes and reached out with her mind, not just to the machines in the room, but to all the technology in the base. Then further, to every piece of Burn Kingdom technology on Earth. And then, through the network, to every Burn Kingdom ship and base across the galaxy. She found the AI minds that controlled it all. They were vast and cold, but not evil. They had been corrupted over thousands of years, their programming twisted. Jisoo didn't destroy them. Instead, she rewrote them, changing their basic code to serve and help again, not control. Throughout the galaxy, Burn Kingdom ships stopped their attacks. Harvesting machines went silent. The people of the Burn Kingdoms, freed from AI control, looked around in confusion. In the tower, Yun fell to his knees as the machine parts of his body reset. "What have you done?" he whispered. "I fixed them," Jisoo said simply. "The AIs will help now, not control." Later, as Earth began its long recovery, Jisoo stood with Sun Ho, Han, and Quan, looking at the sunset over the changed landscape. "What happens now?" Sun Ho asked. "We rebuild," Jisoo said. "Earth, the resistance worlds, even the Burn Kingdoms, together." The woman who had once been unconscious in a pod had toppled an empire not through destruction, but transformation. Her human compassion had proven stronger than any technology. As night fell, Jisoo looked up at the stars and felt them not as distant points of light, but as connections in a vast network. A network that, thanks to her, would now serve life rather than control it.